Okay. I guess I'm going to highlight a few things more on a higher level of the budget. When Danielle said that the swing in this, and George probably will notice this because of how often he's been involved, we typically do not see revenues and expenditures swing this much. Again, just the retirement side alone, where we're receiving money from the state from the retirement system, in which they pay us one day, we recognize it as revenue and then send it right back to them the next day and recognize it as an expense. Just that alone is $10 million of our difference of what changed in our revenues and expenditures. And then again, then you add in $3 million worth of grants that we didn't know in June we were getting. Now we're getting them. So those two areas alone are $13 million in the swing in our revenues and expenditures. And 10 of it is, I mean, it's just we're almost, I use the term laundering. We're a flow through of money, because that's how the state can get the money from their coffers to the retirement system. So I want you to keep that in mind. And then if you look at the first page, the difference between revenues and expenditures, the overall difference is where we increase our variance is about $5.4 million. So that's down at the very bottom in that last column. That's our net change of everything retirement or everything revenues and expenditures. If you go to the second page, so remember that number. If you look at under the revenues, line 1, line 3, and line 4. Line 1 is our enrollment. Again, we projected a 280 student drop. That's based upon a demographer and based upon what we believe we are going to have as butts and seats for students. We are estimating that we are going to lose 280 kids. We're down 31. So that net change of 250 students produces an extra $2.3 million. And then the change in how the state is now funding special education, lines 3 and 4, you add those two together, it's roughly $3.1 million. Take the 3.1 plus the 2.3 million. What does it equal? $5.4 million, which is almost exactly what the change is. So all the changes that we made to the budget, the ups and the downs, everything that we evaluated really comes down to those two main changes that in June, we didn't have that information. So fortunately, it's on the positive side for us. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, because while there's a significant swing in the revenues and expenditures, really it comes down to those two areas, which again, hard to predict. Adopting a budget in June, trying to guess what the October enrollment is going to be is very difficult. And then the special ed funding that came out of left field. If you look at page 3, to give you an idea of how much money the retirement system, how much money is being funneled through just us in the district. You go down about halfway down under the state column, you can see MPSERS cost offset 147A. You look at that middle column. So for this school year alone, we are funneling $29.6 million from the state to the retirement system just for accounting purposes. And we can't invest that money is as fast as it's in, it's out the next day. So when you look at something like this, you can see how that can skew a lot of these numbers. So when we say we have a $203 million budget, really it's 203 million minus the 30 million. We have a $173 million budget, which is actually ours. So again, keep that in mind when you're looking at this. Again, when we were going through all this, it floored us because it's not something that we typically see. Usually we see $2-3 million worth of swing one way or the other on a significant side. To see $19 million is something that's I've never seen. And again, that's in 32 years, I've never seen something like this. So again, I think overall, it's a very positive budget. I think for the most part, it from a financial standpoint, it provides the district a lot of options moving forward on what we want to fund and how we want to move forward with certain projects and programs. So
This be posted online.
yes. In fact, it already
It
is.
already is online.
Yep.
So you expected a 280 person decrease, but actually got 249 increase, so you're looking at.
No, we 280 student decrease, we actually decreased 31. So the net change, about 250 kids are what we're recognizing as additional revenues.
That was a estimate.
Yep. Okay. Eight.
I think we underestimated.
Yeah, and then 2 years ago, we were down like 870 because mainly COVID.
Right.
Yes.